Hey y'all, I'm Holly Moore, your host, and welcome to the TCS podcast, where our mission is to educate and inspire and empower the residential cleaning industry. As a co-owner of the cleaning software and a proud owner of a cleaning service for the past 17 years, I'm here to share expert insights, stories, and strategies to help you take your cleaning business to the next level. We'll be bringing on experts, fellow industry leaders to share their experience and tips. Whether you are just starting out or looking to grow, this podcast is for you. Let's dive into the next episode. All right, here we go. Did y'all see the trivia picture?
Yes, very
Yes.
cool. I'm so impressed.
Yes,
Okay,
very nice.
it is TCS podcast day, and it's especially important because it's St. Patty's Day. Look at us go with our green.
That's
We
right.
got
Cheers.
beer,
Cheers, women.
green drink. Cheers to women in cleaning. Guys, we love y'all too. Sorry, but this is definitely a girl power podcast this week. I am so excited about this because it's about branding, and there is not two people that I know that have established their brand better. And I cannot wait for you guys to meet them. Again, just like my intro said, I'm Holly with the cleaning software, and we really are here to educate and empower the cleaning industry, especially girl power this week. And I just want you guys to introduce yourself. I want you to share a little bit about your journey and how you started in the cleaning industry and what led you to actually be on this podcast today. And then how many of those Guinness beers do you think are consumed on St. Patty's Day? So I will say Molly first.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Hey. Okay. So I got started in the cleaning industry like 16 years ago. I had a very allergic reaction to a house cleaning at my house. And I was actually looking for business ideas, and I was a busy professional, and I came home and I couldn't breathe in my own home because of all of the toxic chemicals that were used. And so that's kind of where my idea was born, out of starting a green sweep. And you asked like 17 questions in there. So
Sorry.
that's okay. And so I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My company is Green Sweep. And
actually, more than just Green Sweep, now Molly is, everybody knows Molly in the industry. She also has Live Bright, which is an amazing coaching program that she coaches not only just cleaning service owners, but like all service industry, correct?
yes, that is correct. Yes. Yeah, I do. So I started Live Right. I was coaching for a couple of years, actually under somebody else, of course, and began Live Bright a couple of years ago, and I'm loving it. And there's a lot of crossover between my two brands. I mean, one is Green Sweep is a cleaning service, Live Bright is a coaching and consulting company, but the piece that brings them, they're both all me, right? So that's kind of the branding piece, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit.
And how many beers do you think are drank on St. Patty's Days? What's your guess?
I said 17 million.
Okay. All righty. Now, Miss Allie. Hold on, wait. I think I have like a drum roll. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead. I can't wait. This is the person I've been waiting to introduce to the industry. She should be out there bigger and better. You're amazing. You've got to tell your story about your pecan pies. Do it all.
I love it. Well, my name is Allie. People know of me as the Southern Diva. My business is Southern Domestic Diva, and actually I started a love for cleaning at the age of 9. My grandmother Hattie was crazy as hell. She was always smoking a Virginia Slim cigarette, and I thought cleaning was actually wiping nicotine off the walls. And so she convinced me I was the very best cleaner that there was, and I started cleaning all through high school and college, and I started on my own, like on weekends and nights after my 9 to 5, and started Southern Domestic Diva. And that was 11 years ago. And I'm now in 2 states. I have a branch in Southwest Mississippi, where I'm from. That's where the real Southern accent comes from. And then I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have about 75 divas and divos out cleaning for us, doing anything from construction, commercial, residential, and vacation rental. So a little bit of a serial entrepreneur here, where I just dove headfirst into all of it and getting a taste of all of the industry. and so excited to meet Holly and her sister. I attended the ISA conference in Vegas for the first time, in being in business for 11 years, and met all these other wonderful business owners. And Holly has helped me. We onboarded TCS to our cleaning company, which is about a $4 million cleaning company. So onboarding that software is not as challenging as everybody thinks. And it already is bringing in more revenue. And most of all, it's weeding out the bad. So we've done a lot of restructuring and refiguring things out. And so I also do coaching with Holly, as I have some goals of hitting some big numbers this year. So very thankful I met these pistol toting Texans, and I hope we can say that on the podcast, because I feel like a Southern Mississippi girl was meant to meet some Texas girls to help just make the journey easier, and to feel like, hey, we've got somebody else out here that has the same hair on fire type of days, like where you just want to hit that button that Holly has and say, just give me a break.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. I've known Molly for years, admired Molly for years. We're in a bunch of networking groups together, and I admire her live bright. And then Allie, I have worked personally with you, and you are a go-getter. Like you're right. We are that Southern, like, no excuses, let's go get her done, no matter what it is. I'm Holly, obviously with TCS, but most importantly, I'm also a cleaning service owner for the past 17 years, and we're in Austin and Houston, Texas, and I am a happy pistol toting Texan, and that's okay. And I've just really enjoyed the cleaning industry, and just since we started the cleaning software, I've actually gotten to get out there and know people. I kind of like ran into the industry thinking, and everybody's like, "What's your revenue?" And I'm like, "I think we're like 6.5 or 7." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, I thought everybody else was there too. I didn't know." Like I just kept my nose down and like gritted through it and just was, working, working, working. So when I met Allie at ISSA and Molly, you were there too. We were like, "What are you at?" And she was like, 4 million. I'm like, "And you've done this all by yourself?" She's like, "Yep." So, anyway, back to branding. So the reason for this is branding, right? And I am going to let Allie lead with a little bit about branding, because I have never met anybody who has branded their company so well. And don't get me wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong. All of your marketing to date has been all through social media. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, correct.
So boots on the ground, social media, $4 million. Like I know Molly, there's like nobody that you've heard of
No,
in the industry doing that.
no, no one.
A lot of word of mouth, and just a lot of diversity in the type of business that I went after. It was like I would scale in the vacation rental, and then I would see all the cranes in Nashville and say, like, I want a slice of that as well. So really the hard way. So that's why I think in my story, it's so beneficial to meet other business owners and coaches like you all, so I can grow and expand, and then also share this knowledge of, hey, I got to 4 million with just doing these simple steps. So I was always told that you have to have a story that goes along with your branding. So that's why everybody that knows of me knows of my grandmother Hattie. And then another thing my grandmother Hattie was also doing while she was smoking and I was cleaning is we were baking Southern pecan pies. So when I was just starting my cleaning company, it was very hard to get in the door. So I'd stay up till like midnight baking pecan pies. And I used the pecan pies as marketing strategy to get in the door. And then if you sign up for a clean, you get a pecan pie. And so like I even brought one right here. This is like a little mini that are saving us money. It's got the QR code on it. And we just go to town. Like if I'm at a networking event and it's a pretty like influential networking event to where it's a meet and greet, I give them a pecan pie, mini pie with my card on it versus just a business card. So I'm remembered and I'm known as, here comes the Southern Diva with her pecan pies. And so it's just like creating that and making people relate. Everyone has a grandmother story, and then that falls into the type of cleaning service we have because we're very traditional. We keep our Southern values. I wrote a Southern Diva cookbook about 3 years ago, which is my grandmother's recipes, and it's teaching you how to use a cast iron skillet and keep it clean. So I really wanted to take cleaning to where the industry didn't look at it as my maids are showing up or my cleaners are showing up. Like if our clients call and say, what time are my maids going to be there? I say, I don't know, because we have divas and divos out cleaning. So your divas will be here at a certain time. So just the consistency of staying on that traditional branding and keeping my grandmother tied into it, I think just like earned me a lot of respect. And we're very recognizable in town because you see my red lipstick, my red nails. I don't go anywhere without it. My girls are in red t-shirts, red vehicles. They're like, here come the divas. And, and it's true and true. I am a Southern diva. I can't deny any bit of it. So it becomes like who you are. Just like Molly said, it's a piece of her and her coaching and her cleaning business, which makes us all so unique. And so I think really, truly recognizing like, what is my gift? What can I give? What's unique about my story is really just where it started at, is with the story and grandmother Hattie and smoking, and everybody relates to smoking in the house in the 80s too.
Yeah.
In the house, in the cars, like, oh yeah, I was a victim of that.
I love that you said that, Allie. And if Holly, is it okay if I just jump in and add to that a little bit? Okay, awesome. So, I think the mistake I see, it's all about stories. Stories are what sell, right? And the mistake I see a lot of cleaning services and other home services actually make is not personalizing it. In the effort to look super professional, they remove their person from it. And I think it's a huge mistake because that's our differentiating factor. What we're doing is very personal. We're in people's homes. We're touching all their stuff. They want to know who that's going to be, right? And I see when I visit different people's websites and I'm like, but who owns this company? Like, who are their cleaners? Is it all stock photos on their website? Like, what's going on here? So I think that personalizing it from the get-go, obviously brilliant. You're brilliant at branding, but just on the flip side, that's a mistake I see a lot of people making.
Yeah, and Molly, tell me more about where did Live Bright? I mean, I personally know you, so like you walk into the room and I feel happier already. You're like my personal therapy. Like I'm like I love Molly. But where did your brand come from? And tell me how you got there. And I'm so excited to promote Live Bright. Like I think I may sign up after this podcast. So tell me about Live Bright. All the
Well,
things.
thanks for the question. That's great. So live bright. I mean, right. So who I am and what I try to be in this world is a bright light. And I was launching my own coaching business, and I was looking for an idea and a movement that people could get behind. And I was like, just kind of, I had my program. I was working with clients. I didn't have any branding beyond the Molly Moran brand, but I got this piece of. Actually, my wife ordered this piece of art from this artist that we love out of Tennessee. Actually, this Tennessee artist that we love, Allie, and as a surprise. And it's this big, huge piece of art, and at the bottom across it is scrawled, "Live a big bright mess." And I was like, that's where the brand came from. I was like, I'm a bright mess. Like, that's who I am. Like, whatever. And so it ended up being shortened down from bright mess, because people don't necessarily identify with the mess piece as much, even though everyone's a freaking mess. But I know, right? I know, right? So it ended up getting shortened down to Live Bright, sort of it's definitely who I am, like in terms of being in terms of who I am energetically in this world, like, and joy and purpose, and how you can have the mess alongside with the brightness. Like, it can all coexist, and it's figuring out how to make those things exist together. And so it came out of that, and it's sort of a rallying cry for people. Like, that's my goal with Live Bright. Like remember how Lance Armstrong had Live Strong? Like this is sort of my rallying cry around like happiness in business. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, between the pecan pies and the Live Bright, I'm wondering, I'm like, maybe I need to work on my branding. Like, can I have a pistol and like run around? No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't do that. So I have to ask you. So I did Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I say keep improving the cleaning software for us, and then we can keep branding and selling for you, right?
Totally.
Exactly. Of
I think you're the Holly Moore brand. You're the Holly Moore brand, you know? I mean, there's more. Yeah.
Well, I did a poll on the TCS page and was asking people like what is the main topic that you want me to cover with around branding. And almost majority of everyone said how do I differentiate myself between my competition? Like how do I stand out? Like how do you stand out? And that's what they wanted to know. So that is y'all's question. I will who wants to go first?
I can.
Okay, go ahead, Ellie.
Well, clearly I spoke of like our logo. Like I don't know if we can see it right here. This might be a little noisy, but whenever I was designing my logo, I was so specific. I'm like, her waist needs to be smaller. She needs a spray tan. No, her hair is ombre. She's putting on red lipstick. Her nails need to be red. Like it was a very specific thing. I'm like, nope, waistline a little smaller. And so it's just, just living through that brand and being very like consistent in the branding is to where I was much on the design of the logo, but my girls are in red shirts. They wear red scrunchies in their hair. They're known as divas and divos. They carry red bags. All of our branding is my title is Chief Executive Diva. We have marketing divas. We have cleaning divas. And so I think it's staying very consistent in that. And with social media, hi, this is the Southern Domestic Diva. I stay consistent with my reels and things of that nature. And I think with that, we have been able to keep consistency with clients because they trust it. And they're like, Allie is the same through and through as she was 11 years ago when she was opened her business and she was keeping her supplies on her screen porch. And then it would get cold and they would freeze. And I'm like, okay, I guess they're going in the living room. And then it went to my double garage, and then it went to where I could get my first office space, and I recorded all of that through social media and almost made it to where it was like a reality show. I'm like, no, I don't know who's watching, but I'm building something really great. And so it showed me over 11 years of building it and staying consistent with the divas, the divos, the red shirts, the red lipstick. And it just really works in the South. And, when you build something in your hometown as well, my Mississippi branch, you have to be true and authentic to yourself because these are people that you were raised around. So they really, truly know that is Allie. She is the Southern Diva.
I love that. And you definitely stand out. You walk into a room, here comes Allie, and she is not forgiving and she is herself. And I think sometimes I've learned a great lesson my summer. My sister's always trying to tell me, like, stop wearing, I'm like Texas Baptist, like raised prim to proper. And she's like, you need to just let it rip. And I was like, I don't think people can handle me. And then I was being around Allie. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm about to be myself. Like not worried about any of it. So, and how many followers do you have?
Over all of our platforms, around 30,000. So it was just always a goal of mine. I remember when I was like trying to hit 5,000, trying to hit 10,000. And so it's really funny because I call it like my play job. Like when I get on social media and have fun, like I'll film something tomorrow where I'm doing this, Botox free, like frownies. Like I'm going to sleep with all this tape on my forehead and try to get everybody else to as well, and then give them 15% off. But like this brings me some like immense joy that I'm an ambassador for frownies and I'm promoting like natural Botox. It's like, how it is when you can look at so many P&Ls and so many call outs and so many mistakes in cleaning that you're just like, give me a little fun. And the social media like allows me to have fun and have like a colorful experience like Molly's talking about. Like I am kind of a hot mess, but it's more fun sharing this hot mess than it is just keeping it all to myself.
Inside.
Yes, exactly.
When it makes
so
you
Molly,
super
how
real.
have you differentiated?
Yeah, no, great. So I would say with Green Sweep for sure, we've been very, very specific with our branding in terms of who we are and who we are as a company. And that's the thing that we lead forward with a lot. Like our company values are kindness, integrity, community, and professionalism. They're on every single shirt. They're on our walls. When we had vehicles, which we don't anymore, they are on our vehicles. Like they are everywhere. And so many of our clients end up attracted to us because of who we are in the community and what values we're putting out. So that's been a really huge thing for us. And also with our marketing, I mean, Allie, you've killed it. I have nowhere near that happening on social media with Greensweep or anything. It's awesome, but like we try to be really, I have not always succeeded, but this is something I've taken back control of recently because your marketing and your branding is so essential. And all of a sudden, someone uses a different font and I'm like, don't use that font in a post. Like when so I am I have a lot more oversight in what's being put out at this point in time than I did a couple of years ago, because it's just too important to stay true to who you are. Right.
Awesome. For
Yeah.
sure. Hey guys, I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm always sneaky and I get bored really easy. I'm pretty sure I should probably be on medication, but it's fine. So I have a guest
Wait. Are
that
you
has
saying
been.
are you saying we're boring you? What the?
No,
we're
I'm
talking
saying
about branding.
I don't like boring podcasts. Like, when you watch a podcast, you're like, oh my God. It's just
Come
so
on,
Allie,
boring.
Allie, should we go? I mean, should we just go have our beers together? Like, what the hell?
I didn't mean that. But I can't, like I have to mix it up. I always have to have a game or a guest or something. So I do have a surprise guest that I'm bringing in right now. He
Fun.
might be a very, very specific person on this topic. Is Drew Larison. And let me pull him in really quick. Oh,
Love Drew.
this is the first time I've used Riverside, by the way. I love it so far. So here we go. There he is.
Hello.
What's up, Drew?
I felt awful when she was saying you guys were boring, and that's why she had to bring me in. I was quite a welcome to the conversation.
I know. I get bored. Like I always have to have a game. Everybody makes fun of me. They're like, "Come on, just talk," and I'm like, "No."
And I'm the guy who's not wearing green. I'm supposed to be like the fun, exciting one, and I'm not even wearing green. I have green eyes as a kid. That was always my excuse. Like you can't pinch me. My eyes are green. So I screwed up today. I'll admit that. I'll admit it.
So you've been in the background. What is your feedback so far? Are there any takeaways that either of these awesome ladies have said that you're like, wow?
I don't know
Because
why.
this is what you do for a living. Oh, actually introduce yourself first.
Okay, sorry. My name is Drew Larison. I'm the founder and CEO of Five Door Media. We're a marketing agency built for the home service world. So happy to be here. Happy to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is branding. I'm craving a pecan pie for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason that just sounds really good. No, I love the conversation so far, and you guys are talking about branding, and I hear a lot about like logos and colors, and Mahler, you were talking about like being picky about which fonts are being used and things like that. But I don't know, I love the conversation about branding. I think talking about like logos and visual branding is like one layer deep into this massive conversation about just branding. What branding to me is, what emotions do people have when they see your logo? Like what emotions do they have when they hear your company name? Like that's your brand, right? And I think branding is something we're always doing, whether we're trying to or not, or being intentional about it or not. But I love this conversation, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I love me some Drew. He has been so helpful, and if you don't have a digital marketer, or he is your guy. Like he is so awesome. He is, most importantly, one of the best people I've ever met. And I've learned in this industry,
That's so nice.
It's very important to find the right people, because there are some people that you need to probably take a right from, but Drew's not one of them. He is the person that's going to be on your side and give you some of the best advice that you could have. So thank you for being our guest.
It means a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No problem. So next question, which actually Allie stole that one from me, so I can't use it. It said, how important is storytelling to your brand? And I'm like, well, that one's over with. What's the branding or marketing mistake that you've made in the past, and how would you fix it? Does anybody have, all three of y'all, and y'all are welcome to raise your hand and go first or last. What mistakes have you made in marketing or branding? Go ahead, Mal.
I mean, I alluded to it a second ago, which was that I kind of like I didn't have as much oversight over what was happening at one point in my business, and then things were being put out, like content and other things were being put out that were not on brand. And so I mean, I actually think marketing is one of the last things the owner of a company should be outsourcing. Like, I mean, certainly you're going to have vendors like Five Door Media, amazing. They help out Green Sweep. Like, you're going to have people that are doing things for you, but keeping your eye on the ball is really important, and approving things that are going out for the public to see. That's the number one mistake I made a few years back. And it was not a long lasting mistake. I recovered very quickly because I was like, what the F is this stuff that's going out there? Clearly I need an approval process in place here, right? So that would be my number one.
Allie, do you have one?
Yeah, I think that we became very aware of like our branding and networking and marketing when I was attending a lot of events, and we were sponsoring a lot of events when we started tracking our ROI on it. Like, just this might go into more marketing than anything, but I was individually attending a lot of networking events in Nashville versus just sponsoring event and being able to hit like 350 people at one time versus one by one in business cards. So I feel like tracking that, and then we were only putting out media for like one platform, like Instagram, and then that was feeding to Facebook, and then that was feeding to LinkedIn, and it was feeding to TikTok. We now diversify all of that. We have a weekly media meeting, and I have an intern, and she has it planned out what the planned posts are going to be: Instagram versus Facebook versus LinkedIn. And like just today, one of the posts she had, of course, who doesn't use AI and chat GPT, it was I said, it's too AI-ish. It's not Alley-ish. Like, we're talking about a diva training in Mississippi. I want to tell them that we serve sausage and biscuits and gravy, and Daddy did the demo on the perfect vacuum cleaners. I want to be relatable, even if it is on LinkedIn. And so I feel like with saying like, and I know it's a lot of work, but the content that goes out to my Instagram followers is different than the content that goes out to my Facebook followers. And so just putting in a little bit more effort to make sure that you're really reaching that market industry helped us tremendously.
That's
Love
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
And Allie, you're so spot on. Every platform that exists speaks a different language. And you have to learn that language of that platform before you can just jump on, or you're speaking a language that they've never heard before and they can't understand what you're trying to do. Yeah. I don't know. The biggest thing I see people do, there's a few things. I'm really big on finding your why as a company, like why your company exists past the dollars and cents, right? And I think a lot of times people start their marketing messaging, and the only thing they're really focused on is talking about what they do. Maybe every now and they talk about like how they do it, but rarely are people talking about why they do it. And like that is what differentiates you, right? Because especially in the home service world, cleaning companies, whatever industry it is, the majority of what we do or what these companies do is pretty darn similar, right? Like there's reoccurring cleaning, there's monthly, there's biweekly, there's weekly, there's one time, you know what I mean? And like even the strategies of how you clean, they're all very similar, right? So a lot of times people will talk in their marketing and messaging and they sound just like everybody else. And like nothing sets them apart, nothing makes them special. And that's, I think, something people are missing in a huge way. And a lot of times that is happening because they don't know why they exist, right? They haven't taken that time to like really find that deeper purpose of their company or even them as an entrepreneur, why they're an entrepreneur, why they decided to take this crazy lifestyle that is being a business owner. Like we all agree that if you're a business owner, you're a right amount of crazy, right? Like you're not, someone that's 100% sane does not choose to be a business owner, right? We're all a little crazy. But we need to look back and like really remember why we started. And I feel like that gets lost. The second thing I think people don't do well a lot of times is just consistency. If you're going to be anything, be consistent, right? And a lot of times in the world of social media, you see those videos and maybe it only got 12 views. I mean, we just started a podcast, right? So I am in the thick of this right now, right? Like, I am learning that the first few episodes are not going to blow up right away, but like staying consistent, keep posting, keep adding value, being entertaining, being educating towards people in your niche, in your industry. If you do that over time, it's like everything else, right? You don't go to the gym one time and lose 50 pounds, right? It takes consistent action and effort over time. And that is what makes what do I say? Like micro differences make a macro difference, or micro changes make a macro difference, right? And there's no difference in the world of marketing. Be consistent, figure out who you are, and continually try to tell stories to people on who you are and just keep showing up.
I love it. I was actually talking to Molly about that the other day because I was asking her about her coaching program. And I was like, okay, there's all these consultants in the cleaning world.
Whack-a-mole.
And I'm like,
Whack-a-mole.
whack-a-mole. I was like, what is different about you, Molly? And you said something that hit what he was just talking about, like the consistency of, oops, I hit my mic. The consistency of doing it, like the grind of it. I'm coaching you how to grind it. And that sounded bad also, but I'm like, explain.
There's probably a better way to put that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
It's green champagne.
I use the word grind.
I don't remember what it was, but it was like the hard
probably
work,
a better choice of words.
The hard work part where you were talking about how that's what you're coaching to. The people who give up, you're teaching them how to get past that point. And that's what Live Bright was. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, you should completely tell us more about what differentiates you in Live Bright.
Okay, I will. Well, obviously people who work with me have fun, right? So there's that piece. And I really believe that I don't believe business has to be a total grind. I think it's hard and it's challenging. And what Drew said, like we're all a little bit crazy, but if we can figure out a set of practices and habits and routines, not sexy stuff that can take care of us, then our businesses will be better for it. We will not burn out. We don't have to be exhausted. We don't have to be working, 100 hours a week. And I will say that I have worked my tail off at times in my business. There are seasons when we do that, of course, but it does not have to be the norm. And especially once you get to a certain place of survival, then or past just survival, and you're like making good money and whatever, then that's where the fun really comes in, because you get to decide how you want to spend your time, how fast you want to grow. So I'm sure I didn't answer your question exactly. So I'm just going to say what makes me different is that, and what makes Live Bright different is that I'm not just looking at your P&L, although I love looking at P&Ls. I love finding that extra, fat that needs to be cut so that you can make more money. But we're also looking at you and what makes you tick, what makes you happy, get you living on purpose. There's so much distraction. There's so much noise. And I run into so many people that they're just grabbing onto whatever comes their way, and they're very busy, toxically busy, I would say. And as a result, they're unhealthy, they're disconnected. They're like starting to wonder, like, wait, why am I doing all of this? Why am I working so hard? Like, what's the point of all this? And so what makes Live Bright is different is I bring the fun back in. I get them living on purpose. I get them dialed into where they want to go, how much they want to put towards it, healthy habits and mindset and things like that to take care of them. And then often their businesses grow hugely during that process too, right? It's not like I'm saying stop growing. I'm like, let's figure out how to take care of you and the business at the same time. Thanks for the question.
I know in the cleaning, yeah, no problem. In the cleaning software, we have a lot of companies that are on, and so I get to see everybody's struggle on the day-to-day basis. And that's why this month, Shelly and I have been posting workout videos and like talking about work-life balance, because we can go, like, I'm the worst about it. Like I'll be here at 9:00 at night, just keeping grinding. Sorry, I used it again.
You did it again.
Get rid of that word.
Yeah. You said it again.
Boring and grinding. Can't do that. So either way, but work-life balance, I think, is super important. And you're right. When your personal life is happy, it shines through on the other side, especially the way you treat your employees, employee culture, and all of those things. So
it does.
I have a next question. Are you ready? If you had to give one branding tip that could immediately make a difference to a cleaning service owner listening right now, something very specific, what would it be? Maybe that we haven't already said. I'm going to make Drew go first because he was last. And I'm not going to say the word
Oh,
boring or grind, I promise.
you just said it again, so that's fine. No, I don't know. The one branding tip, um, start investing in your brand like as soon as possible. Like I think a lot of time, like this word brand or branding or all those things, it gets out there to be like this $1 million word. Like, oh, that's something I'll worry about when I hit a certain revenue, or when I get a certain leadership team, or when I get, this size staff. Whether you want to be or not, you are branding right now, And so it's one of those things, like start being intentional about it as soon as possible. And that can be through pecan pies, which, by the way, we send cookies when people sign up for us as well. I love that we have that in common. Molly's tried those cookies before.
They are
So,
so good.
but they, I mean, whether you want to be or not, and whether you're trying to or not, you are sharing your brand, right? So, I mean, it really is one of those things. You can never start too early. Start getting intentional about it.
Awesome. So, Allie, you're next. But I did
I love
save
that.
this. So I am drinking Allie's Prosecco. I just added some green food coloring. But look at this bottle. Isn't that cool? It's
Yeah.
handmade sparkles and she has some with pearls. Explain this one to me.
So I like to have like gifts around that very much like are the Southern traditional image. So like around holidays, we did like citrus cutting boards and beautiful like Christmas hand towels, and we made them into big bows. Or like when Holly's team, the TCS team, came, we had them little gift baskets together. And at that time, we were doing decorative champagne bottles and all pearls and things. I'm a pearl girl. I've got my pearl earrings on. I was a Tri Delta in college. I wear my pearls. I live by it. My new puppy even wears pearls as well. So, it's like little things like that that are going to make you stand out. The fact that we leave the pecan pie, like I have found my uniqueness and my niche through being like a Southern Mississippi girl who was raised by a very Southern grandma who taught me to clean with a bucket of pine sol and water. And I have told that story all over, and I stay very like true to it. And I just went all in. It was just like no in between with social media. If you follow my stories, you follow anything. Like I try to be on the stories every 90 minutes. I try to go all in with it. And then I also, on those days when I'm having vulnerable days, like I just went through a really challenging time where I had to restructure my entire Mississippi branch that's been up and operating for 4 years, but it was broken. I mean, we were having staffing issues. I had to rebuild it up. And I was very vulnerable through all of that, like my mental health is jacked. Like I'm working 14 hours a day. I'm in South Mississippi eating fried chicken and shit that I don't eat. And I'm going crazy. I'm used to being in the city and getting massages and doing natural Botox and all of these things. And I'm in South Mississippi for 3 weeks and my life is living hell right now. And I was very honest with that and vulnerable on social media. And so I feel like being authentic and not being perfect every time I get on camera, getting on there looking a hot mess makes people appreciate you, and then they can relate to you. It's like, oh, well, she put on 15 pounds too during the winter. She's on that stair stepper getting it as well. Then they're more likely to want to do business with you. But it's like me staying true to, hey, I'm this Southern belle that just kind of tells it how it is, has just really taken me a long way. And I feel like just gained a lot of trust of that, this is who you're getting with signing up with our company and with the Divas.
It's amazing to me. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I was like, she hasn't even digitally marketed. Like, where would she be if she digitally marketed on top of all of this amazing branding and marketing that she has going? It's just crazy to me how you've done that. Like boots on the ground. I'm very impressed. So I've taken tons of notes. Tons of notes. So do you guys have anything y'all want to add or anything about the topic that you guys want to bring up?
Well, I mean, I'll say this too with Allie's bedazzled champagne bottle. Like that has the impact it has because it came from Allie. Like if Five Door Media sent that, Holly would probably be like, wait, what? Why? You know, like it wouldn't make sense, right? But like Allie has figured out that, you know, visual and like physical brand so well that and that's the hard part sometimes, right? Like going back to like figuring out that why, but like that's the beautiful thing about finding your why. It becomes the North Star for everything else that happens in your business, and it makes everything else so much easier because it's a simple like, does this fit us? Is this us? Does this fit our why? And if the answer is yes, you run with it, right? So I mean, like that is why that's impactful, because you know, Allie is this, you know, bougie over the top Southern woman. Of course she would send this bedazzled champagne bottle. You know what I mean? Like it makes all the sense in the world. I think I just heard her dog wears pearls. So
Yeah.
absolutely a bedazzled champagne bottle makes sense, right? So it's, but like I think a lot of times too, people try to be what they're not, and like they think like if I just start sending bedazzled champagne bottles, I'm just trying to be like Allie, right? I'm not trying to be like Drew. I'm not trying to be Five Door Media. And people aren't dumb, right? Especially in the world of the internet and content. We are seeing more content pushed in front of our faces than we ever have through the history of the world, right? People are consuming so much. They know what is real and they know what is fake. Stop trying to be fake. Be yourself. Find out who you are and who you want to be, and consistently be that. And like that's when moments where that bedazzled champagne bottle will happen. Find your bedazzled champagne bottle, or like whatever that could be for your brand. But I feel like we see Holly or you know, we see Allie and these other people and like these big influencers online, and we just try to be them, and it never works out. That
No.
never works when you try to be somebody else. Find out who you are and then run straight towards that. People will recognize it, people will respect it, and people will buy from it.
That's awesome. And I'm entering this whole like national marketing, which is a whole other bag of cookies compared to local. But I'm getting with it. Drew's helping me. He's sending me lots of stuff, lots of advice. Um, but I think, well, y'all were all talking. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a cleaning service owner too. So Maids and More is my company here in Texas, and I would say what sets us apart and our big branding that we've always done is we are fast, efficient, no bullshit, straight to the point. Get your quote, get you booked. We will send people like the Amazon of cleaning, not cheap, but the Amazon of cleaning. Like I want people in and out of the line and get it done quick, efficiently, and y'all are busy. And that is actually our tagline, creating time for busy people. That is what Maids and More was built on, because I was too busy to clean my own house. And my husband dang sure wasn't going to clean it. So boom, that's where it started. I threw a shoe at him when he told me that I should clean my own when I first started. So that's how it all began for me. So Maids and More is that's what we are. We are the super fast version, and get it done and get it to the point, in and out, and repeat, come back later. That's how we are. So it doesn't have to be like, no offense, Allie, like you're a lot to live up to. And Molly, it's a lot to live up to. So you don't have to be like some kind of crazy thing to live up to. It can be a very simple concept. Like it doesn't have to be elaborate. Um, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about branding and stuff. And like Drew said, be yourself. That's the
And Holly,
most important.
I wanted to add too, Holly, is that I just went to this seminar too. You know, like as many trainings and educational things that you can attend, you always get a different perspective. And just ads in general have always been challenging to me. But something we just did, if someone is trying to create like, who do I want to be, and what type of client are we actually servicing? So we created avatars for all of our different client types. So we have a residential avatar. This is the overworked mom that's home with the kid, doesn't have time to even wash her hair, much less clean the house. Then we have the commercial avatar, that's the overworked business owner, you know, that the staff is doing this, that, and the other. And then I have my construction. So when I'm creating these ads, I'm putting different ads out there, still ads, personal ads, things of that. I'm thinking to myself, my avatar, my residential lady's Kathy. And I'm like, what would Kathy want to hear? If Kathy's scrolling on social media at 9 p.m. and she's stressed out having her glass of wine, what does Kathy want to hear? So she'll sign up with me. So I think also defining what industry that you're in, like what division you're in, and going after that client has really helped me because I have such a different message as I have a different message on LinkedIn as I do on Instagram. I have a different message with my construction guys. You know, the pecan pies in construction, I got $1 million like that. Be careful. Because then I had to figure out how to do construction cleaning. And I'm like, oh, but I talk to them so much differently than I talk to my women that have been residential clients for 11 years. So I think also defining where your audience is and where you want to put your attention so you know who you're speaking to.
I think
Absolutely.
yeah,
And what
that's
problems you're solving too.
right.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. So go ahead,
No, we
Molly.
all
Yeah.
have something. Yeah, no, it's super smart because I hear people. I mean, I talk to lots of business owners and they're like, well, what are you doing that's working? And I'm like, well, what I'm doing that's working, like, may or may not work for you depending on who your avatar is and where they're hanging out. Like my avatars aren't necessarily hanging out on Facebook, although Drew might be proving that otherwise. I'm not sure with their help with Five Door Media, but we have a much older population that uses us, and so they see us on the news, and then I see them around town and they recognize me, and we're in a big city. Like it's, so figure out who your avatar is, and that's where you need to go and do more marketing. And right. And so just adding to what you said, Allie, I think it's really smart because we have to talk to people differently, and what's working for Allie isn't going to work for me necessarily, and that sort of thing. So really leaning into who you are as a business owner and as a business and who you're serving, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. My
Guys,
daughter
I'm
has been
on.
started asking questions about business, right? So she's like 11 and she's been started like, what business should I start when I grow older? And I'm really pushing back on her. I'm like, don't ask what business you should start. Ask what problem you can solve. Like that is like the nature of like every good business is like, what problem are we solving? And even that, I think it's really easy to overthink marketing messaging sometimes because then you're like, oh, I have to get on ChatGPT. I have to make all the right words. I have to make it sound real fancy, right? But like it's really simple, especially in the service industry. What per avatar that you're talking about, what problems do they have? And then how do I solve that through my messaging? How do I tell them that I'm the right person to solve the problems they're having? And like the mom that you're talking about, Allie, right? Whole different problem than the guys who just want pecan pies on the construction site, right? But if you know that avatar, a part of knowing that avatar is knowing what problems they're having and how you have the right problem to solve, and then how to communicate that you are the right person to solve those problems. So it all goes back to just, we're just solving problems, and then if you can solve that problem, then you don't need to sell anything, right?
Be the
You've got it.
solution.
You're making it easy. Yeah.
Be the solution. If you can be the
Yep.
solution, then everything works. Well, I can't thank y'all enough for being on today. And if there's any live comments, I don't think we have any right now. I heard personas. Kevin Coggin said personas. I love it. Dan Young said great advice. I want to connect. Oh, I know what I am. I'm on the ISSA National or Cleaning for a Reason convention task force for the new national or for 2025's national convention. And so May 31st is the cutoff for speaker applications. And I think that 3 people here should probably go ahead and get their presentation put in. Allie, we need you in the cleaning industry. I need you to fill that out. I need this speech in an education room in the convention in 2025 or 2026.
We're on it. But we thought that the
Yes,
deadline was
2025.
March 31st, not
It
I
is
think
May.
March.
it is.
It is March 31st. Did I say it wrong? I'm sorry.
Okay.
March 31st. So you've
Yeah.
got a couple of weeks. It doesn't have to be completely exact, but just get out the what you want to say, the topics, and a little bit. You can tweak it close to the
Perfect.
date because it is in November. And I am proud to be a part of ISSA. I'm proud to be a part of you guys in this industry, and the cleaning software is so happy to educate and empower, and we can help you with your tech solutions if you need it. And again, guys, thank you so much. You guys don't hang up. I'm going to end the live, but we have to wait for the download. So thank you, guys. See y'all soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, right. Okay. Hi, guys.
I love that. I feel like motivated from
What?
hearing both of y'all's story. I said I feel very motivated from hearing y'all's story. It's been a hard 3 weeks, so I really needed this. It gave me like some push. I'm
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's a big restructure of the whole branch. That's a lot.